Hey you guys. So I had a couple of you guys message me. I heard you guys took your kaplan test for your maternity, and it was a little not what you expected. Heard there were some peds questions on there. So I just heard you guys struggle with a little bit. So I'm just kind of doing a little video here to kind of give you guys some advice to help you out a little bit. Now, I can't remember exactly if the test you guys took, I think it's an integrated test, if it shows you the answers when you do your remediation. If I recall, it doesn't, which is kind of frustrating. Check with Ms. Verlaza to be sure, though. I don't know if she can see them on her end or not, but I know it does give you information when you do your remediation. It shows you like the topics that it covered. So the remediation is really important. I strongly encourage you guys to do that. That really helped me out a lot. Is if you miss a question, go to that remediation and don't just click through it or read it really quick. Actually read what it says and take your time with it and try to figure out, as far as the information it gives you, what part of it that maybe you didn't understand or didn't know. Maybe it was just information you didn't know, or maybe you had some misunderstandings about it. You can also go back in your kaplan book that you guys have, and you can refer back to the information there to get some more information on it. And you can also go back to your textbook too on the units that's covered on that kind of information, and go over more of that there, so you get more review on the topic that you missed. I think when you do your focused review tests, like the ones that are for your units, I think that shows you the answers. So it shows you which one you got right and which one you got wrong. That's really helpful for you to remediate on that. That's what I did a lot of. I go through and take my test and take it all the way through the end. Make sure you don't have distractions. Try to do that at a time that you're not really too tired. I know sometimes when I would do it, I'd wait too late in the evening and I'd be tired and I didn't do as well on them. So make sure you feel real well rested, just like if you were going in to take your exam at the school. So do these in a place where if you have kids or anything, if you have some time or you've got somebody to watch them, just do it when you can just be by yourself and sit at your computer or stay at the school, do it in the library, and just go and do your tests at one time straight through, just like your exam at school, and take your time, read your questions, make sure you understand what the question's asking. I know that sounds crazy, but it is kind of easy to kind of read into the question, or you try to think sometimes what the real world would be. You don't want to do that. You want to make sure you break the question down and pick out what it's asking. Like especially if you have those priority words like who do you see first, or what do you do first, who do you see first, what's most important, those kinds of things. So it's important to make sure you know what the question wants, so that when you go through the answers, you're picking one that is related to the question, because sometimes you have answers in there that aren't even related to the question. Like you can just rule it right out. You can do that kind of multiple choice, that kind of crossing out, go one at a time. Just, okay, this one doesn't apply. Cross it out. You don't need that one. Throw it away. And you can break it down to get like two left, and then you can go in between the two and do the same kind of process to figure out what's the right answer. What is the question looking for? Does this apply? Does this answer what the question is asking, or what it's looking for? So that's really important when you do those tests. And again, kaplan is exactly like the NCLEX, so you definitely need to get used to those types of questions, how it asks, the format, those types of things. And then when you go back and do your remediation, take your time, make sure you don't have any distractions. And if you got the question wrong, go back and look at the remediation, and look at its rationale. The rationale is so important. Find out why it said the question was correct or why the question was incorrect. Read each one of the rationales for each multiple choice answer, right or wrong, and then you can kind of evaluate why you might have picked like the wrong answer. Maybe, like I said earlier, you might not have understood maybe the question, or maybe you just didn't know that material as well, or maybe you had a different kind of preconception about it. And when you read that remediation, it helps you change that preconception so that you know for the future, if you get a question like that, that's how you would answer it. So yeah, that remediation is really important. So now I'm going to touch on your books for studying with your books, because you're going to have a lot more unit exams right now than you're going to have kaplan. So with that, and I don't know if you guys have in your maternity right now. That might have been the gist of it, but I'm going to just show you something in this maternity book really quick. This book is really great because, let's see, this is I'm just going to use chapter 1 as an example. Hopefully you can see this because my webcam is not perfect. Kind of bright here. Alright, I don't know if you guys can see this. It has these green boxes, and it's like test yourself. Those are awesome. It also, because I have such a glare, I am so sorry. I have a glare from my window there. You have your key points in the back of the chapter, the end of the chapter. Those are awesome. I really use those a lot. I love this book for that reason. It has those all throughout the chapter, those test yourself boxes. They're in the green. They're like throughout the chapter, I believe. Yeah, they're throughout the chapter. So as you're reading, do those boxes when you come up to it. Ask yourself the question. If you find that you're struggling to answer the question, you probably don't have that material down, go back and just review that section that pertains to that question. Once you can kind of answer those questions comfortably, like you're not struggling, and you can read the question and say, oh yeah, well that's so-and-so. You're probably, the material is really sinking in, you're feeling more comfortable with it, it's sticking. So I find those really helpful. The key points in the back of the chapters are awesome, especially if you don't have a lot of time at the moment to read the whole chapter. If you just want to get a quick review of what's in the chapter, what the chapter covers, you can go and read those key points, and it gives you a good little basis of what the chapter's about. Also really helps when you go into lecture. You just go over those key points, and it gives you an idea of what's going to be discussed, or what you can expect to be talking about and learning. That's your maternity book. And you've got your lovely med-surg book, which I haven't cracked open in a little while. I've got a chapter highlighted here. Let's see, fluid and electrolytes. That's a good chapter. That's chapter 14. This is so hard to see. But, if you go to your chapter 14, you'll see you have tables in there. There's like total body fluids here. You have electrolyte composition of extracellular and intracellular fluids. So those little tables are helpful. One thing that I do a lot of, which I told you guys about when I came in, you guys really can't see this, but you have your titles of your paragraphs. Like this one says active transport. And I've kind of just highlighted this first sentence here. You can find a lot of information just in the first sentence of the paragraph. It kind of tells you what the whole paragraph's about. And you can also sometimes, there'll be a little section in the middle, and then there might be a summarizing in the end. If you think back to like your English classes, you have that introductory sentence, you have that summarizing sentence that pulls everything together. It's kind of the same way. These books are written like that. So if you can learn that, you can kind of skim through and find the meat, what's really important about that particular topic. Because you really, like honestly, I can't stress it enough, you cannot sit and read, this book is huge, you can't read the whole thing word for word. It will not stick in your head, it's not necessary. You've really got to learn to skim through and find the important details. You don't want to be highlighting a whole book. want to highlight those important details, that stuff that you don't know. You don't be highlighting stuff that you already know. Like if you're reading a topic that you know a lot about, you don't be highlighting stuff you already know. You know it, it's there. You need to highlight stuff that you need to remember, that you need to review and go back over. That's really important. In this book, it has a lot of, it's got boxes too, that has some bullet points. Some of those, that information in there can be really important too. So does this have a, okay, so this book has key points also. So again, that's something really helpful. Before you even read the chapter, you can go skip to the back of the chapter and read the key points there, and it has them all in bullet points. So that can give you, again, just a summary of what's the meat of the chapter and the things that you need to be looking out for. So that's a good thing to do before you start reading or before you start lecture. If you really didn't have time to really get into the chapter, at least, get that in there. Try to read those key points. Refresh with the key points before you come into lecture, just to give you a refresher of some information if you need to ask questions or clarify something while you're in lecture. It also has review questions for NCLEX in the back of your chapter too, which is really helpful. So again, like kind of like with the kaplan, like I would do some of these questions and read the question, answer it, write down your answer, and then check your answer. And then if you missed the question, then you can go back within this chapter and you can reread the information on what that question covered to help clarify and fill in any gaps that you missed when you tried to answer that question that would have caused you to answer it incorrectly. That's really like my biggest advice is just, and especially if you have those comprehensive review books like the Saunders, the Lippincott one, do those questions because it assesses your knowledge. So do those questions, and if you get them incorrect, then you go back and you review and you figure out, okay, why did I answer this wrong? What about this question? What am I missing in my knowledge base that made me answer this question incorrectly? And then you go back and review it and get it to know that information, and it makes it better for you to answer it in the future because you've reviewed that information and you know it now, so that when you have a question like that again, you approach with that question, you're better equipped to answer it correctly. Let's see. Another really important thing is you really have to evaluate yourself. I know anxiety is a big thing. Test anxiety. I had test anxiety. I really didn't think I did until I got more confidence and realized, oh, I did have test anxiety. I would second guess myself a lot with questions, and you've really got to get a handle on that. If you have a problem with second guessing yourself, you've got to get that under control. And the way to do that is to study, do these questions, and it helps you feel better. Like, for me anyway, that, I would know, I'm like, okay, I'm prepared. I prepared myself for this. I studied, I've done questions, I know this stuff. And that's what I would say to myself when I would go and take a unit exam. Like, okay, I am prepared. I did the work, put the time in, I've got this. And if you ever have a time where you get to a question, you're like, I don't know, just keep repeating that to yourself. I know this, I prepared for this. Keep yourself calm. Do any tricks you need to do to help you be calm if you have anxiety. Some of the girls in our class, they would bring in like a mint, have a mint to kind of suck on while you're taking the test. That would kind of help soothe them. Another girl brought in she had some of the essential oils, and she would just put a little on her wrist, like a relaxation mixture with like lavender, things like that, and that really helped her relax. Actually helped a lot of us. I've tried it too. It smells really nice. It is kind of soothing, helps you relax. So if you have any kind of like little tricks like that, just to help you relax, do those kinds of things. If you need a little ritual or something, that definitely helps. Get a good night's rest. Make sure you eat something. You've gone to the bathroom before you take a test. um, those kind of things. So when you're sitting in the test, you're not distracted by like a full bladder, or your stomach's grumbling because you hadn't eaten, or you're struggling to stay awake, that kind of thing. So help yourself out, really. Do yourself a favor and just take care of you and keep yourself just kind of cool and calm, and just work on building your confidence. It's super important. Like, I know there was tests, I failed a test in the spring semester, my first test of the semester, because I did that second guessing thing. And I had done really well all the semester that you guys are in. Did really well in the first test of the next semester. It was like, I bombed it. And when I went back into test review with Ms. Plaza, I realized, I knew this stuff. I second guessed myself. I got between two answers, and I'm like, I did that kind of thing. And had I not done that, had I just trusted myself and stayed confident and relaxed, I would have been fine. I passed it. And I did okay once I realized that. I did well in the rest of my tests. Did second guess myself. Trust yourself, because you know this stuff. You guys are smart, and you might not feel that way sometimes. Trust me, I know I did it. But you have to work on that. You have to learn to trust yourself and be confident in your knowledge base and what you know, because you're smart and you can do this. That's definitely one of my biggest advice points. And take your time. Take your time with your tests. So I think that wraps it up for right now. I hope those points help. Hopefully this video is okay, because I don't usually use my webcam and it kind of sucks. Sorry. But if you guys need anything, you ask Ms. Plaza, you guys can message me. Hit me on Facebook. You got my number, you can text me, anything like that, email me, whatever. I don't care. I love helping people, obviously, because that's why I got into nursing, because I like to help people. So, and I want to see you guys succeed and see you become awesome nurses, because I bet you can. So, again, if you need anything, talk to Ms. Plaza, classmates. Some of your classmates know me, so just hit me up, and I'll do whatever I can to try to help you guys out. And you guys do whatever you can to help yourselves out. Do whatever you can to, whatever works for you, because you guys are all different. Everybody has a different thing that works for them. See your SI instructor. Groups are really, I think, good for some. Working in a group, doing like those NCLEX questions. You can do the kaplan together, which is really cool. Somebody can have a computer out, and you can ask a question as a group and come to consensus and answer questions. And if somebody's struggling, not understanding part of the material or why a question was wrong, you guys can work together to help each other clarify that information so it makes sense for everybody. So I definitely recommend groups. It works for a lot of people. Meet at the school. You can meet before or after a lecture, or lab days, maybe before or after lab, depending on what time your labs are, or another day that works for you guys. A lot of the girls in my class, they met at Wegmans in Fredericksburg. A lot of them lived out that way. I don't know where you guys are coming from. I'm here actually in Madison, so that was a bit of a drive for me. But another one of the girls also lived out here in Madison, and we actually met together at our local library and did some studying together as a group. So that was really helpful. So again, just find out what works for you, and I'm here if you guys need any other help. So hope it helps you a little bit. But wishing you guys good luck the rest of the semester. Okay. All right. Bye, guys.